Welcome to the Valley Church Christmas Special. It's so good to be with you. I'm Andy Monnin. This is my wife, Paula, and we just want to welcome you into our home and to this Christmas special. It's just so good to be with you. Hope you're enjoying this Christmas Eve. You know, Christmas Eve is a special time. We celebrate the night that Jesus came to earth to be with us. And it really started the greatest rescue operation of all time.
And don't we love a good rescue story? You know, the kind where there's a rescue hero who steps in to save the day or to save a life. I read a story about a man named Tony, and he was an experienced yachtsman from Britain, and he was on this round-the-world race in the Southern Ocean when the keel came off of his boat in 50-foot waves. So here he was in the middle of the ocean, 1,000 miles away from the nearest land. His boat, in his book, he says that it was like Niagara Falls, upside down. So here he was trapped and by himself, and there was no way to rescue himself. There was no way out. He didn't know what he was going to do. So about 4 days of this, of being seasick and being trapped and breathing air that was just, he had a little bit of air supply between where the water line was and where the bottom of the boat used to be. And he just prayed. He just prayed that he would be rescued. Now with the satellite technology, they did find him. They did realize that when they were charting where the different boats were, they knew where he was. And so they sent a search and rescue team out to find him. So 4 days into this, he heard a knock on the side of his boat, and they had been there. And so after they rescued him, here were his words. He said, I can never thank the Australian Navy enough for saving my life. And he said on that day, he said he felt like he had been born all over again. He felt like he'd been given new life. And that's what it feels like when you were rescued.
Yeah, but before you're rescued, you know, it can feel awful black. It can feel awful dark. It can feel awful hopeless. When I was in the National Guard in the 90s, we were in Grayling, Michigan, and it was about 4:30 one morning. We were bugging out, and it was just pitch black. It was in the middle of the worst thunderstorm I've ever experienced, and just in front of me there was this huge lightning bolt. It actually hit 4 guys. One of them was critically wounded, and we weren't sure he was going to make it. He stopped breathing along the way. It kind of felt hopeless. Like we weren't sure we were going to be able to get him to the hospital in time. We were out in the middle of nowhere. And so we carried him to a clearing, and they called a medical helicopter. I didn't think there was any way that thing could get in. I mean, the storm was ferocious. It was dark. There was very little place for the helicopter to land, but they were able to get in. It was amazing. Coming out of the clouds, coming out of the darkness, this helicopter came and it settled in. We were able to put this soldier in, and he made it back to the hospital in time and he lived. You know, I really think that is the picture of what Christmas Eve is all about. In the middle of our darkness, in the middle of the sin and the hopelessness that we feel, the Father sends Jesus to come to be with us in the midst of this chaos, in the midst of our storms, and he comes here to rescue us when it feels darkest, when it feels the blackest.
That's right. And that's really what Christmas is all about. When God gave us the greatest rescue hero ever. When he set that in motion on the night that Jesus was born. Luke 19:10 says that the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. And it's not unlike the story of Tony. When that search and rescue team went out, they went out to find him. And not only just to find him, they went out to save his life. And that's what Jesus does for us. He comes to seek after us, and he comes to save us. And it says that he comes to save the lost. I've heard it said that the lost are people who are out of fellowship with God. Anybody out of fellowship with God is a lost person. And we've all been lost at one time. The Bible says that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So we've all been out of a relationship with God. So not one of us was already there. Like he had to find every single one of us. But I love that we can celebrate Christmas because he came with that purpose to seek and to save us.
You know, what's amazing is that he came at all. You know, honestly, none of us deserve to be rescued. When I was a kid, we were all playing out in the back part of the yard, and there was a brick pile there, and we were just playing on top of this pile, and all of a sudden all these yellow jackets came out and started to sting me and my brothers, and a couple of us jumped off the pile and started running, swatting them as we went to get these bees off of us, and they were big bees. And we looked back after we got away, and we noticed our little brother Randy, who was probably 3 or 4 at the time, still in the pile. He couldn't get off by himself, and there was bees just flying around, and they were on him, they were stinging him, they just covered him. And we were scared to go back. We'd already been stung, so we ran off to get Mom. But Mom came charging out of that house, ran right up that pile, pulled Randy off, even though she was getting stung. You know, that's really what Jesus did for you and for me. He knew he was going to get stung. He knew he was going to go to the cross for you and me, and yet he came to this earth to rescue us in spite of knowing all that. In spite of us being the kind of people who were rejecting him and rebelling against him, he came for us anyway, in spite of all that, because of his great love for us. In fact, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he sent his one and only Son. The Father sent Jesus, and Jesus willingly came because of his great love for us. And that's really the amazing thing, I think, of Christmas.
It is. But in this whole rescue mission, and this whole idea of being rescued, there is one thing about it, is that we have to allow ourselves to be rescued. You know, just like Tony, when that rescue team came to rescue Tony, he could have said, oh, no, I'm good. I got this. I can get myself out of this. I don't need your help. He would have died at sea. He had to be allowed to allow them to rescue him. And just like he had to allow them to rescue him, we have to allow Jesus to rescue us. We have a choice to make, because he's already there. Revelation said, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and answers the door, I will come in. So we have that choice to make, because he is standing at the door and he's knocking. If you're hearing this today, then he wants you to know that he is there. He is ready to rescue you. But then we have the option whether or not to open the door and let him in. And he doesn't barge down, tear that door down, and he doesn't just waltz right in. He allows us to make that decision. So each one of us has to make that decision of whether or not we're going to allow him to rescue us.
You know, Tony could have done something really ludicrous. He could have, when the Australian Navy came out, he could have said, you know, I got this under control. I can handle this. I think I'm going to just do this on my own. That would have been like crazy. And yet, the reality is you and I are a lot like that. We say, you know what, I got this, God. I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. And we think that we can handle it in our own power. And the reality is we just dig a deeper and a deeper hole. And we reject God's help for salvation. We reject his restoration of our lives.
That's right. Sometimes we need a different kind of rescue. Sometimes there are things that we're dealing with in our lives that just we cannot get through ourselves. Just some things that we just seem to be in this hole or in this rut or in this depression or whatever it is, where we just need God to rescue us. I don't know what it is, maybe for you. Maybe it's your marriage is just in this place and you can't do this on your own and you need God to rescue you. Maybe it's dealing with unforgiveness and somebody's done something to you and your heart, there's nothing in you that wants to forgive them. And so it has you trapped in this whole unforgiveness state. I don't know, maybe it's that you have believed the lie that you're not good enough, that you've fallen too far, and so you're trapped in this bondage of thinking you'll never measure up, that God will never forgive you, that you can never get out of this. Or maybe it's this idea that people are telling you that little sin, although there's no such thing as a little sin, and people are saying, you know, it's okay, God will understand, he wants you to be happy. Or maybe you're telling yourself that when you know better, and you're just in this place. I want to tell you that Jesus is our rescuer. He came to set the captives free. He wants to do that for every one of us. There's not one person here that he doesn't want to save. There's not one person here that he doesn't want to set free.
So the question I have for you today is, are you ready to be rescued? Are you ready to allow Jesus to forgive you, to restore you, to remake you? Are you ready for him to come in and begin to rework the things in your life, to begin to heal and to give you hope and to free you from the fear and the anxiety that you might be feeling, the darkness that might be in your life? That's why he came. And it takes all of us just coming to him and saying yes to him. We'd like to pray with you now. Father, we want to thank you for sending Jesus that first Christmas to rescue us, to save us. Thank you for the love that you extended to us.
God, I thank you that even though we did nothing to deserve it, even when we were lost and far away from you, you hunted us down because you loved us that much. And I just want to thank you for being our rescuer.
Father, I pray for every person who's watching this special tonight. I pray, Father, for their life. I pray, Father, for their heart. Father, I just pray that they would see you for who you really are and for the love that you really have for them.
Father, I want to pray for those who need to be rescued from things of this world. Maybe it's unforgiveness, or maybe it's their marriage that needs rescued. God, you know who each one is, and I want to pray that you would just intervene tonight. I want to pray that you would meet them where they are, and that you would just show yourself huge to them and in their lives, and that you would work miracles.
Jesus, thank you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for coming and enduring the sting of the death on the cross for us, to take our place in our punishment, and to restore us and to remake us. Thank you for who you are. In your name, Jesus. Amen. Amen.
For those of us who have said yes to Jesus, I think that I know personally, I feel like Tony felt when he said, I can never thank the Australian Navy enough, because he realized what he had been rescued from. He realized that he had been rescued from death. And we too have been rescued from a spiritual death. And if we rightly realize what we've been rescued from, we will never stop thanking God, and we can never thank him enough for what he's done for us. And just like Tony said, I feel like I've been given new life. That is exactly what we've been given when we accept Jesus as our Savior. And so it doesn't matter how we spend Christmas this year. It might look a little different. We might not be with all the people that we want to be with, but the celebration can be just as great because of what he's done for us.
Boy, I want you to hear Brian's story. Brian is so thankful that Jesus rescued him. Let's watch.
Last year at this time, I was living in a great deal of depression, anxiety, guilt, shame, sin. It was nothing new to me. I'd lived most of my adult life this way. And I was someone who always had to have control and always had a plan. And whenever those plans wouldn't fall through, I wouldn't know how to cope. And I'd be left with a feeling of emptiness, sadness, and I would look for ways to fill that emptiness. And unfortunately, when I was younger, it was excessive drinking, some drug use, sex, toxic relationships. I knew I was making these poor decisions, and I was doing everything in my power to try to correct them. I read books. I saw a behavioral therapist. I took medication, Zoloft specifically. And towards the end of 2019, I had some things both personally and professionally that didn't go my way. And I was left feeling with that same feeling of emptiness. And this time I decided to go a different way. I prayed, and immediately after I prayed, the next morning, a friend had shared a Valley service on Facebook, and I listened in. The next week, I listened in again. And then over the course of those couple of weeks, no matter where I was seeing the Valley yard signs. And I knew, through my prayer of direction from God, that he was telling me, hey, you need to go to the Valley. So I did, finally, that third week. And as I'm sitting in the sermon listening, it was about living a godless life, a life full of sin, and how you're going to feel God's wrath for that, and how God is wanting you to seek him. And if you do, he will show himself to you. And that's what I was feeling in that sermon was, I asked and I received. And I went to service again the following week, and afterwards I introduced myself to Pastor Andy, and I asked him about getting into a life group. And he recommended me to the Journey Bible Study. And after agreeing to that, he set me up with Bill Roth to lead me in that 8-week study. And, you know, ever since I finished the Bible study and really started living for God, you know, my life has completely transformed. You know, I'm in a position now where I'm closer to my son. You know, I'm working in my dream job, and I'm ultimately, you know, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm at peace. You know, I'm confident that I'm exactly where I need to be. With 2020 being as crazy as it's actually been my best year because it's been full of blessings from God. And I couldn't be more thankful to Him for sending Jesus to rescue me.
What an amazing story. Jesus Christ rescued Brian, and He wants to rescue each of us. You know, we want to close this service by reflecting on the light that Jesus came to bring. We have a tradition each year of lighting candles and singing Silent Night. The reason we do that is we want to recognize that Jesus came to be present in our lives, but also to recognize that Jesus has given us a command to go share His light with other people. So as we sing Silent Night together, wherever you're at in your homes, would you sing with us and allow Jesus' presence in your life, and would you begin to spread the light around the world? God bless you and have a great Christmas.